Hello, and thanks for joining this series of supermarket wines. We often find ourselves browsing the local supermarket for some simple wine, not knowing anything about what we are going to purchase. We often make our decision based on the color and the label of that wine and find that wine absolutely tastes horrible. So, for that reason, I have created the Supermarket Wine Series. We are going to be browsing some of the wines that you can find at the local supermarket and tasting them, giving them some ratings 1 through 10 based on what I find important in wines. For this series, you can make your own decisions based on these tastings and ratings and decide if you want to try them. For the first two wines that I've selected a red table wine and a strawberry Moscato. The red table wine is made by Run Winery, which is located in Indiana, and Barefoot is more of a commercial brand, which you will see everywhere. And let's get started with this wine tasting. One of the things that I do grade wines on is ease of opening. I hate when the cork dissolves when you're opening into the wine because then you have to pour about 2 glasses of wine out. So let's look at this as we're opening as a closer view because I feel like you all should see this up close. Okay, to get started, we have a nice pull tab here. I had a bottle the other day. I could not figure out how to get in. Looks like we have a nicer cork. Do not make fun of this corkscrew. Alright, I think I may have went in a little too far. Nope. Alright, so my corkscrew only opens on one side here. So you pull it out. It's a nice clean pull. And dang, I just broke the cork in half. So let's try to okay. Alright, so I don't know if I should just keep trying or if I should just push the cork all the way down at this point. Never had that happen on one of these bottles, but I've never had this red from there. There we go. Better. Okay. Alright, so I did break that cork off. That was my fault. I do have a little bit of residue floating in there, but it was not that bad and a good recovery and save. So that's the Turtle Run Winery. Lost My Mind. Let's go ahead and pour a glass of that. See if we can get that residue out of there. Alright, you can kind of see some of the cork floating in there. I'm just going to dump this really quick. Alright, pour another. Alright, we did good on that one. It's a really pretty crimson color red. And that's the Turtle Run. Lost My Mind. Now let's go ahead and just open up this strawberry Moscato. What is going on here? Oh, right. Is this just a twist off? Making it easy on us. Just a twist off. Alright, and that, as you can see, is also kind of a crimson. It was lighter pink before I poured a little bit more in there. So I've got the red table wine right here. Strawberry Moscato. I can still smell that strawberry quite strong. Alright, let's give these a try. The Turtle Run Winery, lost my mind. Let's try that first. That's the red table wine right here. And it doesn't smell like an intense alcohol hits you in the face when you smell this. Okay, so I would say it is a little tart, but not too tart. Not like a cherry tart. It is a very good red wine. I could drink this daily. I usually don't like red wines because they are too alcohol-y and they have like just like a really like stomach burn. This one is a really good one. So the next one we're going to try is this Moscato Strawberry, which is right here. Oh, and it smells like summer in a glass. Okay, so that's really good too, but it could possibly give you like a stomachache if you drink too much of it. This kind of got some carbonation in it, so I could see that happening. But it is really good, and it would be like good to serve like on a hot summer day if you have some friends over, but just not too much. Or if you like mix it with something as like a cocktail. But these two wines for this supermarket wine series were a definitely great pick. Definitely would recommend both of these. So let's go through and give them a grading scale really quick. Let's start with the Turtle Run Winery here. So easy to open. Grading on these. Like, I just have to show you all my wine opener first. Okay, so my wine opener is very different. You like screw it in and it pulls the cork out like sideways. So that's what happens, is it broke it off when it was like pushing here to pull it out. So I'm not going to ding them on that because this is probably the 4th bottle that I've had on that. So for ease of opening on Turtle Run, I'm going to say they get a point. Okay, this is like 1 through 10, so they get that one. The clarity of the wine. Now I know it's a red wine, but the clarity, I'm talking about like fermentation in the wine, and it's a very, very clear wine. Except for a little bit of the little quirks. That was totally my fault. And it's a very good tasting wine. So clarity, they're going to get their point. Color, they get their point. Aroma. So it really doesn't have an aroma. I'm looking at the back of the bottle here, and it says that it's a cornucopia of fruit. Doesn't really say what type of fruits are in it. I'm not going to give them a point for aroma, but I can tell you this, it is not an overpowering smelling alcohol like a wine. Sweetness, they're going to get their point. They're not going to get a point for bitter because it's not bitter. Overall texture. It's a very smooth texture. There is nothing floating in there very smooth filtered wine, so they're going to get that point. Alcohol content on Lost My Mind is 9.5%. I'm going to give them a point for that, because that is a pretty good rating for the price of this bottle. The price of this bottle is $9.99. I have seen some other bottles go for $12.99, and this may have been on sale, but that is a great price. So let's go ahead and add their points up. Put theirs right there, and then we'll add the strawberry Moscato here. So for clarity, they get their point. Is the alcohol content on this? It is a 6.5. They've got okay. So we will run through both of their grades. I'm giving both of them an 8 out of a 10. So for the Lost My Mind here, I am giving them a 1 in the sweetness, and the strawberry Moscato actually got a 1 in the bitterness, because it's more of a grapefruit flavor that I was tasting, and some people may find that more bitter. So I'm going to say that was more bitter, and I will put this down below in the information for you all. But both of these were great wines. And now we're going to look at 2 wines that I've already opened that were terrible. Thank you for sticking around as we join back in to try these 2 wines that did not quite make the wineless cut. These 2 wines right here are Rue de Perle and the Naked Grape. These 2 wines were priorly opened and tried, and they were absolutely not great. So we're going to taste test them and rate them on camera so you all can make your own decisions. Here we have the Naked Grape. We're going to go ahead and pour a glass of this. A dark, deep grape color. Go ahead and show that to you all. Here we have the Rue de Perle, which is from France. Pour a glass, show you all. I had a problem with opening this one, so there might be a little bit of cork floating inside the glass. Very deep, dark red wine. Alright, let's get started with the Naked Grape here. Here at 13% alcohol content, we have this dark red wine. Let's give that a taste. It is very dry and bitter. Dry and bitter. I'm going to try another taste just to fully get the flavor in my mouth. I'll go ahead and make some notes about this wine here. Doesn't really have an aroma. No sweetness. Definitely a bitter. Okay, so the Naked Grape for me was only $5.99. This wine, if you like dry, bitter, very bitter wine, it's just very dry. It's not my type of wine. This might be the wine for you because it's very cheap and it has a very high alcohol content at 13%. But it's just not my wine. But still, I can't grade it just because I don't like it. So it really got a 7 out of 10. It's not that bad based on the other ones getting an 8 out of 10. So now let's go to the Rue de Perle, which is from France. It's a 13.5% alcohol content, and I believe this was $12.99 at the local supermarket. And give this bad boy a taste. And there's still some cork floating in there. Kind of creeps me out. I'm gonna try to. I can't. Just gotta. Much better. Okay. Very takes your breath away. I've got something for this though, because I've had this happen a lot with wine. So I've got a little trick up my sleeve. This is just some maraschino cherries that I got from the local supermarket. I just add some of the syrup in with the wine. Try and make this a little tolerable here. Maybe a little more dash. Swirly swirl. Okay. Trust me on this. It works. Okay. Okay. So now it's drinkable. So, you just get a simple can of maraschino cherries. And you add about 1/4 of an inch to this much wine, and you're good. See? Supermarket purchase, supermarket wine. Much better. It just has such a dry bite that I can't. And see, the smell is misleading. Like, it should smell like vinegar. It's kind of hard to swallow. Much better. Okay. Okay. So, Rue de Perle. It's a little. You can mess with that if you want to, but no, I'm not doing that again. Let's go ahead and give it its rating. It's got a 0 and easy to open, as you can tell from the cork floating in it. Its clarity. I mean, it's a clear red wine color. The aroma, it does not have an aroma. It does not have a sweetness. I don't even know if that's a bitterness. I do not know what that is. The texture, it does have something. It does not have taste and flavor. No. Not know what that is. Definitely fierce. Okay, so the alcohol content is 13.5 on this bad boy, which is pretty high if you can drink any of it. So it gets one there, and the price point is $12.99, which is a little high, especially compared to the Naked Grape here, which is something you can drink without the cherries, which is probably about another $3.99. Let's go ahead and give this its rating here. Alright, so we scored that bad boy here at a 5 out of 10. That is probably the lowest I've ever rated a bottle of wine. It's absolutely not up my alley. So I'll probably be pouring the rest of this off the porch or down the drain. Thank you guys for joining in this series of Supermarket Wine as we explore the wine that you find in your local supermarket and know nothing about.